return to Israel. Well, he returned. You don't sit there and talk bad about non-Jews at somebody's memorial service. It was so disgusting.
Did the rabbi know your friend?
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't choose the rabbi. All I did was fill butts and seats, and I had a standing room on the ground. I knew that's what my friend wanted. I mean, my friend was very popular, but I'm just saying, what the rabbi did was disgusting. You know, if you're gonna be a pious person and you want to walk around, kol hakavod. I go to people's Shabbat tables. People invite me for Shabbat. I have religious friends, and that's fine. You want to be religious, kol hakavod. I woke up this morning. My roommate was lineach tefillin. My roommate was putting on tefillin. Kol hakavod. But you need to represent. You need to be the ambassador. When you're publicly a Jewish person, you need to go out and be polite, be nice, not cheat. Because you're giving all the Jews, you're giving, when that person has to deal with another Jew and the person comes up to me, oh, you're a nice Jew. Well, who did he meet before that wasn't nice? I don't even want to know his story.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're going to wear the uniform, you need to act appropriately. And that rabbi did not act appropriately. And that started my downward trend. So.
What is your relationship with Judaism?
I'm very spiritual, I'm very ruchani. I kiss the mezuzot when I walk in the house and stuff like that. I don't really like to work on Saturday, but everything's private. I'll fast in Yom Kippur. I'll give you, you know, I'm not the smart. I may have a program called The Head Jew in Charge, the HJIC, on the radio, but I'm not the most, you know, religious person in the world. I didn't know my last party was 4 days before Tisha B'Av. I didn't know that there's a 9-day mourning period.
Right.
Okay? So everyone started calling me, yelling at me 3 days, 4 days before the party. We can't come to the party. Why are you doing a party on this day? Well, I did look on the calendar and it said Tisha B'Av was Monday.
Yeah.
The calendar did not say 9 days before. I don't know these things.
Right.
You know? So, I'm not the most religious person, and for that I apologize to the people that I offended in the last party, but, you know, it is what it is, you know. I don't know. You know, I think it's, you know, I do things for the community. I'm very I call it Jew-centric. You go into my house, it looks like everything's out of Israel. I have chamsud on every wall, I have pictures, artwork, everything is all Israeli. It looks like, you know, an Israeli museum or something like that. This is who I am. That's part of my identity. If you ask me, I'm American Israeli, Israeli American, whatever. I'm very proud of being a Jew, very proud of Israel, and I'm very happy to be part of it. And I try to impart that on the people I meet, because we're all walking ambassadors for Israel or for Judaism. You know, you may not want to be one, but at least act appropriately, you know?
What's the difference between dating a Jew and dating a non-Jew? Anything you thought?
You know what? Whatever makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a strong sense of identity, if you're Jewish, and you have a strong sense of identity, and you want to impart that onto your kids,
yeah.
Well, if it's that important, you'll either find a Jew,
Right.
or if you don't find a Jew and you find a non-Jew, you can't help who you fall in love with. But you make Judaism so appealing and warm and friendly that guess what? Maybe the non-Jew will convert. Or if not convert, say, you know what? I want to be part of a Jewish home, I'll let you raise the kids Jewish. Mm-hmm. And you impart a strong sense of identity to the people. If you have a wishy-washy identity, and you know, most Jews are pretty ignorant about anything Jewish.
Yeah.
Really. The Jews in name only. Oliver Stone, who said all this crap the other day.
Yeah.
Well, gee, look, did you see what his family is? His father's Jewish. You know, you have people who are so ignorant about their culture, about who they are. You know, You may not agree with Israel's policies.
Right.
I certainly don't.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you need to be anti-Israel, like the country of Israel, and protest against the whole idea of the country of Israel. And the leaders of all the protests against Israel, guess what? Are Jewish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. You go to all the other Hindu religions or cults, if you will, Hare Krishna, a huge overwhelming majority are Jews. All the leaders were born Jewish.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to say, why is Judaism, the Jewish culture, so uninviting that everyone is walking the other way? And it's like I said, I think the ism in Judaism is all about materialism, meaning if you don't have money, you can't go here, you can't go there, you can't belong. There's no sense of belonging. There's not welcoming of people. You don't do anything for the people. And after seeing this interview, I'm sure people are going to say, I work for the Jewish Federation, and that's not true what Liami said, blah, 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 blah. Really? Because a bunch of my friends went to the thing. You know, there's a Jewish Free Loan Society. They could loan you $5,000. But, which is all fine and dandy on paper, but then you get down to the little details. And what are the details? You have to have a guarantor.
Mm-hmm.
But the guarantor has to live in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. So if your family wants to guarantee for you and they live in New York or Florida or Chicago, guess what? You have no loan. Doesn't work. The programs that are set up to help poor people don't really help people. I think they basically are for yentis to have a job at the Federation. And you know, and they're all going to complain to Luke, blah, 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 that's not true, Liami this, Liami said this, Liami said this. Really? I sent so many friends down there. I have a friend that's unemployed, has an autistic son, a single mom. She got no help. Zero. FS. So you tell me who the Federation helps, because I don't know. And that's why, with their bloated salaries, $500,000, $300,000, no. When you work at the Federation, yeah, if you're qualified to make a job, you, last year, posted on your website all listings of salaries. When I worked at the consulate, we had a very low salary. All of us had low salaries. Why? We were there because we wanted to be there. It was giving to the community, giving to Israel. You're not going to become rich off of it. There should be no reason in the world why someone at the Federation makes $300,000 and the poor Federation workers are being laid off left and right. If the Federation leaders had any balls, they'd say, you know what, we're cutting our own salaries by 50%. I think you could live on $150,000 and put that towards 3 or 4 workers that are walking out the door with their papers in hand because you can't afford to keep them. And there's more layoffs coming in the Federation in another couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. Because you have these bloated salaries by the people on the top who sit there with their pompous suits and the little flower and the lapel, with their big bellies, being the head Jew. Yeah. No, while you have a bunch of workers who are trying to work and trying to keep their families afloat, waltzing out the door is disgusting. So I think the Jewish community needs to wake up and realize its priorities in life. And you got everything backwards. Mm-hmm. You're there for the people. And if you don't take care of the people, they're not going to be part of your community. Mm-hmm. Why do you think they have such problems raising money with young people? Nobody wants to give to the Federation. It's outdated.
So, have you had non-Jewish girlfriends, and how do they compare? How does the non-Jewish experience compare?
I don't compare Jews to non-Jews. Yeah. Everybody is the same. Mm-hmm. I look at a person, I don't care what you are. I have Muslim friends. Mm-hmm. I have Arab friends. My best friend, he's Arab, Lebanese. He just moved to Canada because he had no jobs here. Mm-hmm. I care what's inside your heart. Are you a good person? I don't care what. We put labels on everything. Mm-hmm. Everything has a label. He's religious, he's non-religious, he's conservative, he's this, he's that, he's this, she's that, she's... Right. Why put labels on people? Just be. the labels don't work.